What's going on? So this is actually going to be a quick tutorial unboxing and review with Xbox One Cloud. Again, the cloud, not streaming it from your console, the cloud. So I want to give a thanks to WEPIGEEK who actually sent me the phone folder. They also are available on Amazon. And of course, you even have the little covers, which personally for me, I'm not a big fan of, to be honest with you. I like having the indentation, but I guess if you're trying to say whose is whose controller, it makes sense if you have kids or whatever. So I guess that's cool. But again, the main thing is just this, something that should be simple, right? But you'd be surprised because of the weight of the phone itself. So first things first is it's adjustable. All right, it has a spring in it. You also have this. Now, what is that for? You will see once I mount it. So you have the radius here, right? Of course, that fits right over there. I always start from the top. You line that up. You're just going to pop it in like so. Boom. Now, if you notice, this will be sitting by itself. So let me actually just log on my phone. And I did actually have the little pod, the poppers, the case, and it actually does fit with it, but to access the volume and all that, I took it off, but it does fit. So as you see, it goes on like that. Now, again, just reviewing the actual stand, if you notice, if one, it could fold down, cool beans, right? If I go like this, it's not going to fall. The minute the weight hits there, it's going to fall back. So the whole point of having this is for that. So again, I love it. It's simple and effective. I think I might be covering my finger, so you can't see my password. So I'll jump right into it. So overall, I'm actually really happy with it because it fits like the exact framework. When you're looking at this, it actually feels right. If you notice, I'm shaking it. I'm literally doing this. It's not falling. There's even your little side profile of it. So I'm actually really impressed. I wish they would have had more of these around the time they were doing the companion apps with like Madden, where you have the smart glass. If everyone remembers that, when the Xbox One, when that gen came out. And as you see, I have my Sunset Overdrive edition there. But anyways, so I will say I'm actually pretty impressed for something that should be simple. Is actually kind of hard when you think of the engineering behind this, just because of the weight, the height. Everyone has XLs, some don't have XLs as far as the size of the phone. And you look at the controller, it's almost like a boomerang because it's not meant to really hold anything, right? So me personally, I give them props on getting this angle down perfect, because whether I'm up here or down here, it looks the same and feels the same. So let me actually turn this on. Now I'm actually using the Bluetooth, and as you see, hit Bluetooth, you see it blinking. And now it says Xbox wireless controller. And you go out of this. Whoop. Not bad. And there you go. Now I'll even turn up the volume. So like I said, it's actually really, really fluid. So if you want to see any game played, again, just ask. If you have any questions, ask. Of course, they have all of their Microsoft IPs on here. which again, like I mentioned earlier, which is why they have Game Pass, which is why they invested heavily into backwards compatibility. So I actually give them a lot of props, because one thing that I love the most out of this, in all honesty, is you could play this is running on Wi-Fi, right? But you can pretty much play the game within a couple minutes, whereas, again, unless you had the disc, right, you would have to install it, play it. All those things take time. So I'm actually very, very, impressed. Really impressed, actually. Very smooth. I love the fact that, again, this is just beta, and the fact that it's running where it is in current state, and the fact that they're probably gonna, really make sure all the bugs are worked out of this, because yes, they're putting out new consoles, but the reality is, when you think of supercomputers, when you think of Project Azure, when you think of artificial intelligence and all these things, it has to be able to piggyback off each other. So for me, I look at this and I see this as a way of really building off into a whole new, genre of entertainment with gaming, with virtual reality and everything else. So it's really cool seeing this happen, because I knew this was going to happen probably for the past 10 years. And, the fact that I was like, why most Xbox heads are like, why are they not putting, these games on mobile apps? And the reality is, why would you want to just sell to one market, and when really you could just make it available on every piece of hardware there is? That's the whole market, right? So right now this is running on Android, and it's only going to be on Android for the time being, but it will be on iOS. It's just for the beta, they're running on Android. And it probably has to do with the simple fact that Microsoft has a Surface Neo phone coming out next year, in which, that's going to be running Android. So it makes a lot of sense. Also, if you want to see me do a video with streaming from my console, and what that will do is literally get the whole dashboard. So if you notice, if I hit the center of the screen, this X button shows up, and you get the guide. Let me actually try to. So you notice this is my guide. Yeah. There it is. And that's what's available on the, not streaming from console. And then I hit it'll go back. I hit again. X is there. You have your 3 tabs here for feedback. Mute, click game. And then let me go back into. So I was playing a little bit. All right. So again, getting back to this, it will be interesting on, are you going to be able to broadcast from your phone via Mixer? Are you going to be able to, live chat while broadcasting via Mixer while playing the game, right? You do have front cameras. So there's a lot of possibilities of where this is going to go. That, the biggest challenge, honestly, will just be a data connection. I have used this at work in my parking lot. And for the most part, it's pretty good. I would recommend, right now, like I said, this is running off Bluetooth, the controller. I would recommend using the USB so you don't drain your battery as much, even though they're pretty close together, which is another great reason why they made this phone holder the way they did. And really the challenge is just going to making sure that they have the signal. I have played a couple games on this on multiplayer, and to my surprise, it was pretty good. So my screen isn't running at 4K, so this is another thing of, as far as, the perks of a cloud. I really think just being hooked up to your live network and being able to access these games this quick is amazing, and playing at the rate it plays, right? But that does not make me say I don't want to go play my beautiful games on my Xbox One X, on my 4K TV, with my autonomous 5.1 surround sound. So of course, the whole great thing about this is the simple fact that you could travel with it. And it's just very fluid. I mean, honestly, the simple fact, if I wanted to try a certain game and I didn't want to have to download it, I honestly see this as a big up. And the fact that it's not taking up any space. You literally just download the app, sign in, and you're good. And again, what's great is the simple fact, if I'm getting messages from my friends and all that from live, it's all there. I think that's, where they have to make sure they keep that intact. The clubs are huge. Think of Pokemon Go. There's a lot of games. Well, let me put it this way. There's a lot of things game developers can now do with cloud to give you experiences like Pokemon Go, right? So there's, like I keep saying, there's a million things that this is going to open up the door to. So this is just kind of phase one. And, let me skip. So I'm actually just really excited of where this is going to go. So with that being said, considering this is beta, as far as the cloud itself, I got to give it, honestly, like 9 out of 10. It performs really well. Again, my phone isn't even running 4K. If I was on Wi-Fi, I think some of these games would be able to run at 4K, from my understanding, when it's going to be released. Again, beta, it's not. So I do believe it will, just because how well it's running now. And I'm trying to get this camera to stay in, in the range for you. Let me adjust. The resolution looks good. And I'll try to... But the fact that, again, I'm just like chilling like this, right? And, it's running the full game, right? Honestly, I'll probably lose. And up here is actually a signal. So the reason why they rolled this out by geographics is they want to make sure, the towers are good and all that. So it'll be interesting to see if MSoft, when they release the Surface Neo, they'll probably bundle some of this stuff with headphones. Oh, I'm getting whooped. Hold on. But again, you see it's running. I'm trying to keep the controller, down so you can see the screen. But the response is really good. Resolution's good. I haven't had any crazy lag. Again, except for when I hit dead zones when you lose the signal, because it's streaming from the cloud, right? So feel free to, register to get access. I recommend getting the $1 Game Pass holiday season sale, because that will roll. This all piggybacks off that. Again, streaming off the console, you're really just going to be limited to a certain space, where cloud it's everywhere, right? So you could be out of country, you could be, out of state, East Coast, West Coast, wherever, the Caribbean, and you'll be able to carry it with you as long as you got your signal. I think that's it. Let me try to keep this going. One thing what I'm actually considering now is actually maybe looking into something like the Razer phone, because it is built, again, with the right processors and has a decent resolution, 4K, all that. It's a gaming phone for anyone who don't know what it is. It would be interesting to see what comes out, out of the mobile industry, because of what, is going to be available on cloud. So I believe that's all I got for you. Again, very happy with it. I'll put this back and do the review. As you see, you get feedback. Click up here. Right. Cellular data. I always appear on none. Have a suggestion version. So what's really nice out of this is, again, one reason why personally I've stuck with MSoft, primarily Xbox, is I know where they were going. I know when they released the Xbox One, a lot of people gave them crap. I routed the digital change for the simple fact that I know where that is going to as far as their pyramid of what it's going to be building, right? And this is really part of it. And for me, I'm a huge fan of it. So highly recommend to register, try it. The library, again, is pretty good. There's Hellblade. If there's any game that you'd want to see, just ask. I mean, even think of Madden, right? Playing football on the go, not mobile app, but the actual Madden, which I have to sign into my EA account, I believe. So again, that's all I really got. If there's any games you want to see, just let me know. As you notice, when I hit the top, it says switch to console streaming. And, right now, I'm just using the cloud, which I'd rather do. That's what I'm demoing. If you'd like to see the console streaming, just ask. It's really no different than streaming to your tablet or any of these other, devices. And again, a big thanks to WEPIGEEK for hooking me up with this clip. I will say I'm very happy because, again, just the simplest feature. It falls. How do you fix it? Geniuses, engineers right there, huh? And again, I could see this now turning into put a battery charger on this or portable battery like this. There's going to be a lot of things you'll be able to mod in the future and stuff, but I'll be quiet before someone steals my ideas and patents it and, gets very wealthy off it, and then I see it later and I'm like, what the hell? So anyways, feel free to comment, ask questions, follow, subscribe, and happy gaming.